So we've got a residential refrigerator. Actually, it's a Frigidaire. It's in our 2016 Georgetown 335DS. Of course, the refrigerator stopped working, stopped cooling. It's about 7 years old. We bought it, the coach new. And I'm going to try to film how we remove it. So this is our 2016 Georgetown 335DS. It's been a great coach, and we have to build a platform here to pull out the refrigerator. I'd recommend putting a blanket or something protective on the floor. There's nothing at the top that seems to hold it. I tried to call Forest River service, but nobody called me back. Left a message. Of course, it was on a Friday. So we had an appliance tech come out and look at it. He didn't hook it up, but he said 9 times out of 10 it was probably the circuit board, which would be about $400 to $500 to replace, and I wasn't even for sure if that was it. Since the refrigerator is already 7 years old, I didn't want to put that kind of money into it. They say they only last about 10 years today, so we decided to go ahead and get a new one. Another thing to consider is your opening here for your door. You have to take the handle off, just 4 screws. I unhooked the little hydraulic cylinder there so I could move the door all the way back, give us more clearance. So we have a good 28 and an 1/8 inch clearance with the handle off and the door back. Okay, the first thing to do is remove this plastic vent off the bottom. This actually lifts up. There's some pins down here, so you lift this up. You might have to pull out the freezer door to get to it. And these pins here, there's 3 of them. Here's what those things slide down over those pins. So there's 2 screws, one on each side, that actually lowers the roller height. You lower that down because the refrigerator, when they crank it up, it pushes it up against the ceiling to keep it from rolling out. So you lower those, and then there's actually 2 wood screws at an angle that kind of hold the whole refrigerator in. Okay, to help with lessening the weight, we took all the drawers and shelves out, make it a little bit lighter to try to pull it out from the wall. Once I get it out of the wall, then I can take these doors off. Alright, this is the platform I made. I used 2x6s and a piece of plywood, and then I got adjustable legs from Amazon because I wanted to get it exactly level with the existing platform that the refrigerator is on right now, and you can adjust the legs. It makes it a lot easier. Go ahead and remove the door, the bottom freezer door. There's 2 bolts on both sides, and that pops right off. You have to remove that so you can get to the outlet that goes to the refrigerator underneath there, and that's it right there, up in there. So you have to unplug it there and feed it through the hole. The water valve for the ice maker is back here. You got to remove this plastic trim, take some bolts out, and then these French doors lift up off a bottom pin. Screws that you have to remove to get this plastic trim off to get to those bolts. Okay.
Light up there.
So I guess you don't really have to take the center strip off. That's where the wire runs, but you do have to unplug the all the little cannon plugs here and the ground wire, and then we'll remove these screws here, and that door should lift up off the bottom pin. All right, we got it out. Took 3 of us to lift it out. Fit through the door. Now I think I'm going to go to Lowe's, and they got them on sale, Black Friday sale. And they said they'd haul this away for 50 bucks. We found both doors have to be taken off, and it has to be tilted over to get through the top of the door. All right, we've got our side-by-side Frigidaire residential refrigerator installed. This is the second one Lowe's brought out. The first one last week, they brought one out. We hooked up the water, everything was working, hooked up the water, and we had a massive leak behind the water filter. So they took it back, and it took them another 5-6 days before we got the new one. The old Frigidaire had two long wood screws angled in at an angle. Well, this one doesn't have the this is the type of screws we had. Anyway, this didn't allow me to angle them in, so I got a T-bracket and did it that way. And I drilled a hole through the bracket of the metal there, put a screw and a nut on the back of that. So this ain't going anywhere. So when I turn the corner, that fridge shouldn't come out of the wall, we hope. So this was a counter depth refrigerator, 36 inches wide, and this side depth was about 27 without the handles. So we could have probably got it through the door by just taking the handles off, but we actually took the doors off to get it in. Probably made it a little bit easier, but I don't think you'd have to with this model. It's cooling down quick. It's got an ice maker, and I'm pleased with it so far. Looks nice in here. And we got it on sale. It was a Black Friday sale, the month of November. It was $1,099, and we didn't have to pay tax on it because it was an energy, apparently there was an energy savings refrigerator, so there's no sales tax on that. So I advertised it on Facebook Marketplace for somebody to come get it. They came, gave it away, they hauled it off, and it saved me 50 bucks. I didn't have to pay Lowe's.